Imagine, imagine the end of the world. No radio, no towers, no light, no water. Nothing that you're used to, not even the internet. Imagine the stores are closed. Imagine that the military people are out, that the police are out, that there is curfew at 7 o'clock, looters, vandalism, hell on earth. Imagine the end of the world. What if you catch yourself unprepared? What if you and your family are not ready? In this series, we are at the end of the world. But this is real. This is after Hurricane Maria. The island of Puerto Rico has been completely devastated. So in all case and point, this is the end of the world. We are cut off from the whole world. And so, day 6, day 5 of the aftermath, day 6, including the hurricane. Episode 6, Hope. We went to church. And the most I got out of it was the sense of peace, the sense of hope that was there. The bishop got up and he told us all about how even though this is a time of trial, this is also a time of great privilege and preparation and blessing. Blessing to be able to experience the things that we've been blessed with. But one of the things that was talked about was that this is a time to be prepared. This is a time to be prepared inside as well as outside, spiritually as well as emotionally and physically. But he works at the hospital here, one of the hospitals in the town. And one of the things that gripped me is that he said to us, don't get sick. Don't get sick. Right now is not the time to get sick. If you get sick and you go down to the hospitals, let me tell you, one of the hospitals down there is running on one generator only. Only on one generator for the whole hospital. The other ones have run out of gas and have overworked, and therefore they're just collapsed. Our hospital, if you walk down, you don't even come. The halls are a scene of nightmare. If you come down to the hospital, the stench is unbearable. The stench, you're going to get sicker. Don't even come to the hospital. And curfew is in full effect, 7 o'clock at night. It's eerie at night because you see flashlights going into your house from far away. You wonder whether it's looters or people just wanting to look into your property, or whether it's military looking all around. I heard a couple of helicopters yesterday zoom up on top of us. And in church, the bishop reminded me that was real full of hope. He said that when he went to look at his house, because he's down here in town, he lives up in the mountains, way up in the mountains, where the winds were even harder than 150 miles an hour. He went up in the mountains and he said that his house was the only one that remained around him. Every other house was destroyed, and his was the only house standing. It made me have hope. During the hurricane, I remember my wife saying that it felt almost to her like the winds were going up and around our house. We prayed hard, and we asked Heavenly Father to protect us, protect our family. But we watched and wondered as most places were devastated, and we were devastated too. Our electrical pole fell down and our roof shingles came off, and all our trees well, all the trees on the island basically disappeared. And yesterday I was thinking something. I was thinking something that filled me with a little bit of dread in this episode of Hope. You see, last night I remembered something that my elders quorum president told me when I was living in Hawaii. He said something and I remembered that particular thing because it was night. And at night, yesterday we had 2 ration meals because of the amount of food that we have. We still don't have water, we still don't have light, we don't have anything, communication. But at that time, my daughter and my son came and they told me that they're hungry. We're hungry, Daddy. And you know, we had had 2 meals and I explained to them we're on rations, but how do you explain to kids that we're on rations? That we only have enough to cover us so many days. And I resisted the temptation to break into our rations and feed them some more. And there's some dry cereal that was almost empty, and I said, my wife gave in and said, you know, let them just have the bottom of that dry cereal there, no milk, because we have some dry milk, evaporated milk, that we try to break open one container a day. Then as I gave them, my wife gave in, I thought about what that elders quorum said, because we are on rations, but we're giving in to our children. How can we not? He said, gentlemen, brethren, if you're not prepared that day when it comes, then you'll lose everything that you have. You'll lose your dignity, your valor, your goodness inside of you. Because when one of your little kids, when your daughter asks you, Father, I'm hungry, please give me food, and you don't have any, and you look into her eyes and she's starving, you'll do anything. You'll do anything to feed her. And yesterday, as I saw that and I contemplated our rations and I said how much we have, and I counted day by day, each day, how much we had left, I remembered his words and I realized how unprepared I was, and I realized that if I run out of food now, his words are right. I will do anything. So will you? Are you prepared to lose your dignity? Are you prepared to lose your goodness and to do whatever it takes, despicable things, whatever it is? Are you prepared to be on the side of evil and lose your goodness and your place among the angels? Because you see, just because it's the end of the world doesn't mean that faith is lost, that hope is lost, that the commandments of God are lost. Everything is the same and the rules stay the same. And if you turn into a villain, like many will, if you turn into a vandal, if you turn into a killer, a despicable one, then all that you have inside will be lost. And maybe men can't take that away from you, but when your daughter looks in your eyes and says, Daddy, I'm hungry, desperation, that desperation can take that away. Are you willing to not be prepared like we are not prepared at the end of the world?